Hello everybody. Today I'm here with a new video lesson for you for my grade 8 English medium geography students. Hello, how are you? So now we can go to our lesson. I think in my YouTube channel Sensei Lanka Online School, you may have watched my earlier videos. So related to unit number 1. The solar system, I have uploaded a lot of lessons for you. Introduction to the solar system, about the sun, then about the introduction to the planets, inner planets, outer planets. I have given you separate lessons. So I hope you enjoy my earlier lessons. So today I'm here with another lesson. Look at it. Unit number 1, part 8. Natural satellites and dwarf planets. This is our lesson. So my dear children, can you remember in my lesson introduction to the solar system, I told you the components of it. The sun, the planets are there, outer planets, inner planets, natural satellites, then the dwarf planets, meteoroids, comets. There are a lot of things, a lot of celestial bodies in our solar system. So among them, I have already discussed about the sun and the stars. Then I have discussed about the planets. Then I did separate lessons for inner planets and the outer planets. So today in my lesson, I will discuss only about two things. Because always I come to meet you with very short lessons. Because I think you all like my short lessons. If the lesson is too long, you will feel boring. But in my lesson series, normally I come to meet you with 30 minutes or 25 minutes lessons. So you can enjoy my lessons very easily. This is about natural satellites and dwarf planets. Do you know about them? In Sinhala we say natural satellites. මොනවද ඒ? අපිට තියෙනව නේද චන්ද්‍රයින්? මොනවද චන්ද්‍රයින්? අපිට ඉන්නවා මූන්. පෘථුවියට ඉන්නව නේද හඳ? අපි යාට කියන්නේ මූන් කියලා. ඒ වගේ අනිත් ග්‍රහ ලෝකවලටත් ඉන්නවා උපග්‍රහයේ. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලන්ටත් අපි මූන් කියන නමත් ගන්නවා, natural satellites කියලාත් කියනවා. Next one, dwarf planets. වාමන ග්‍රහ ලෝක. Dwarf planets. A little bit similar to the planets, but they are having different characteristics. So do you like to learn about these two? Natural satellites and dwarf planets. So let's go to natural satellites first. What are these natural satellites? Do you like to learn about them? So look at my screen, all of you. You can read these definitions with me, then you can understand. Natural satellites. The celestial objects that orbit around the main planets are called the natural satellites. So what are the natural satellites? Tell me once again. The celestial objects that orbit around the main planets are called the natural satellites. ප්‍රධාන ග්‍රහලෝක වටේට කරකැවෙන වටේට orbit එකක ගමන් කරන celestial objects. Next one, an astronomical body. It is an astronomical body. අභ්‍යවකාශයේ තියෙන වස්තුවක්. That orbits a planet or a dwarf planet. එයාලට පුළුවන් planet එකක් වටේට orbit වෙන්න. ඒ වගේම වාමන ග්‍රහලෝක වටේටත් යන්න පුළුවන්. So both the planets and the dwarf planets have natural satellites. An astronomical body that orbits a planet or a dwarf planet is called a natural satellite. So my dear children, now do you understand what is a natural satellite? You have to remember natural satellites are a celestial object or an astronomical body. They orbit a planet or a dwarf planet. Come to my third point now. Natural satellites are often colloquially referred to as moons. I told you earlier, sometimes we use the term moons for them. Why? A derivation from the moon of Earth. Our natural satellites, the natural satellite of planet Earth is moon. So we use that term moon similarly, but colloquially, not the standard term. So far, scientists have identified 173 such satellites that belong to the main planets and 8 satellites that belong to the dwarf planets. These numbers may be different with time because time to time, people or the scientists or the astronauts, they are finding a lot of information, a lot of new knowledge. So with the new knowledge in the world, these numbers can be changed. So up to now, these are the details about the natural satellite. Let's look at next one. I got this from your school textbook. Do you have the school textbook with you? They are in unit number 1. When you are turning the pages, you will find this table. See how easy to understand. According to this table, you can understand the planet with the number of natural satellites that they have. Look at Mercury. Mercury, how many natural satellites are there? 0. So Mercury has no natural satellites. Venus, number 0. No natural satellites for Venus. Then Earth. Earth. We have one natural satellite, that is the famous thing, Moon. Ape handa, Chandraya. So the Mars has 2. Jupiter has 76, the highest number of natural satellites. Saturn 62. Uranus 27. Neptune 14. So these are the number of natural satellites each planet has. Then we can look at the dwarf planets. They also have names. I will explain it in this lesson. So now just look at the names. We are learning 5 dwarf planets. Ceres has no natural satellite. Pluto has only 5. Haumea has 2. Makemake has no natural satellite. The number is 0. Aries has 1. So my dear children, please study this table when you have free time because these things will come for your term test, monthly test and other papers. So study them and keep them in your mind. It will be useful for you. This table is there in the school textbook. So more about natural satellites. Look at the first point. All of you look at my first point. Natural satellites come in many shapes and sizes and types. They are coming with different shapes, different sizes and the different types. They are generally solid bodies and few have atmospheres. They are normally solid bodies. Few of them have atmospheres. That is something special. Even some planets do not have atmosphere. But fortunately, some natural satellites are having atmospheres. So most planetary moons probably formed from the disk of gas and dust. Gas and dust circulating around planets in the early solar system. So these are some information about natural satellites. Then here I have given you a small description about the moons of the giant planets. Here you can look at some special information about some natural satellites. Shall we go through this? Jupiter's menagerie of moons includes the largest in the solar system, an ocean moon, Europa, and a volcanic moon, Blue. Many of Jupiter's outer moons have highly elliptical orbits and orbit backwards. Some of the natural satellites of Jupiter are orbiting backwards. ආපස්සට ගමන් කරනවා. ප්ලැනට් එක ගමන් කරන පැත්තට නෙමෙයි අනිත් පැත්තට විරුද්ධ දිශාවට ගමන් කරනවා. Then Saturn, Uranus and Neptune also have some irregular moons which orbit far from their respective planets. Then Saturn has two ocean moons, Enceladus and Titan. Look at their names. Both have subsurface oceans. So Titan, on the surface of the Titan, there are oceans. Titan also has surface seas of lakes of ethane and methane. These oceans are created of ethane and methane. The chunks of ice and rock in Saturn's rings are not considered moons. So dear children, you have to remember Saturn has the set of rings. Can you remember? In my earlier video lesson about the outer planets, I explained you about the rings of the Saturn. These rings are not moons. Don't misunderstand. It has another set of natural satellites. Titan is the famous one. I'm not going to read out all these paragraphs. If you have time, you can look at them when you are looking at my video. So look at their names, Miranda, Triton, Neptune ge moon එකේ නම Triton, Saturn ge moon එකේ නම Titan. Look at the spellings. So now, my dear children, look at these names. Do you like to know how these names are derived? Who gave these names? Do you like to know? Do you like to know the history of these names? So wait, stay with me. I will explain you how moons get their names. Titan, Miranda, Triton. So how do they get these names? එයාලට මේ නම් ලැබුණේ කොහොමද? Shall we look at it? Now look at most moons in our solar system are named for mythological characters from a wide variety of cultures. The newest moons discovered at Saturn, for example, are named for Norse gods such as Berglaimir, a giant. Giant කෙනෙක්ගේ නම. Uranus is the exception. Uranus moons are named for characters in William Shakespeare's plays. Do you know William Shakespeare? A world famous poet. ඒ වගේම කතා නාට්‍ය ලියපු රචකයෙක් විලියම් ෂේක්ස්පියර්. එයාගේ නාට්‍යවල ඉන්න characters. So you will find Ophelia and the park in orbit. Other Uranian moon names were chosen from Alexander Pope's poetry. Belinda, Ariel. Look at the names. So if you are interested in this subject, you can learn about them. You can make a small booklet. That is the way of learning. Yes, my dear children. So that is enough about the natural satellites. Now you know what is a natural satellite. I gave you two definitions. Then how many natural satellites are there for each planet and for each dwarf planet? What are the names of them? How they get their names? So now you know a lot of information about natural satellites. That is enough for you in this grade. So now, shall we go to the other topic, dwarf planets? In Sinhala we say Vamana Grahaloka. They are not major. They are not major planets, but they are planets. ප්‍රධාන ග්‍රහලෝක නෙමෙයි. හැබැයි එයාලත් ග්‍රහලෝක වර්ගයක් විදියට පිළිගන්නවා. මොකද ග්‍රහලෝකවල තියෙන characteristics මෙයාලටත් තියෙනවා. Dwarf planets also have the characteristics of the major planets. So we consider them as a kind of planets, but not major planets. So let's look at these examples and the definitions and the descriptions. The small planets which have no fixed orbit are called dwarf planets. Dwarf planets also have an orbit. මෙයාලටත් orbit එකක් තියෙනවා. If this is the planet, they are also having an orbit, a road like this. But it is not fixed. No fixed orbit. Why? It is not cleared. There are obstacles. මෙයාලගේ මේ road එකේ තියෙනවා obstacles. So when there are obstacles, they are changing their road. මෙහෙම එනකොට බාධකයක් තිබුණාම එයා පාර වෙනස් කරගන්නවා. So their orbits are not fixed. That is the special feature of them. එයාලටත් orbit එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක fixed orbit එකක් නෙමෙයි. So remember it. A celestial body resembling a small planet but lacking certain technical criteria that are required for it to be classed as such. Planet එකක් කියලා කියන්න ඕනේ කරන technical criteria එකට අයිති නැහැ. ඒ නිසා planets කියලා කියන්නේ නැහැ. Dwarf planets කියලා කියනවා. Come to the third point now. Look at the third point. They are considered dwarf because they are massive, round, and orbit the sun, but haven't cleared their orbital path. There are many problems in their road. So their orbit is not clear. It is not fixed. There are 5 non-dwarf planets. There are many, but we are learning about 5 because they are named and classified as the dwarf planets. It is believed that there may be some more unknown dwarf planets. තවම හොයාගෙන නැති dwarf planets නොත් තියෙනවා ඇති. That is the meaning of the last point. Okay. So dear children, let's go forward. Look at this picture. In this picture, you can see the 5 dwarf planets that we are going to learn. Look at the names of them. You have to remember the spellings also. Pluto, Aries, Ceres, Haumea, Make. Look at their sizes. Look at their colors. Look at their shapes. They are having different colors. They are having different types. See, they are having different sizes. Look at the shape of this Haumea, just like a football. Look at this shape. A different shape. We can learn about them. These are some information or the pictures about the dwarf planets. Shall we look at one by one? Pluto. Look at the picture on my screen. That is a picture of Pluto. So now we can learn some information. But in your school textbook, no more information. But here I am giving you some extra information. It was discovered in 1930. Earlier, it was considered as a major planet. It was reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006. The largest moon of Pluto is Charon. It is as half of the size of Pluto. Plutoගේ size එකෙන් half විතර වෙනවා එයාගේ moon. එයාගේ inner largest moon. So now do you understand this information about Pluto? I hope you understand it clearly. So with the picture you can remember. Now come to Aries. Look at the picture given here. Look at the surface of the Aries. Now we can look at information about Aries. It is the most distant dwarf planet. It is the most distant, located far away. It is located far from Neptune. It is the second largest dwarf planet discovered. It was first discovered in 2005 as a planet, and then after that, sometimes later, it was reclassified as a dwarf planet. It is made up of methane. These are some information about Aries. So it is about Aries. Now, Ceres, a bit similar, Ceres. Look at the picture. So there are 3 points about it. Let's look at them quickly. Dwarf planet Ceres is the largest object in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. It is the only dwarf planet located in the inner solar system. It is the only dwarf planet in the inner solar system. It was the first member of the asteroid belt to be discovered. So these information are about Ceres. I'm not going to explain them deeper because these are some extra information. So my dear children, now look at this picture. It is a picture of Formia. Look at the shape of it, just like a football. Formia is roughly the same size as Pluto, roughly similar to the size of the Pluto. It is one of the farthest rotating large objects in our solar system. The fastest spin, එයා වේගෙන් කරකැවෙනවා. ඒ නිසා distorts Formia's shape, making this dwarf planet look like a football. Because of the speed of rotation, it is having this shape. Distorted. එයාගේ හැඩේ විකෘති වෙලා තියෙනවා. Because of the speed. Then the last one, Marke. Look at the picture on the screen. It is located in outer solar system. It was discovered in 31st March 2005. It has one known moon. So that is enough about the 5 dwarf planets. I gave you some extra information for your knowledge. So now, my dear children, look at this topic. It is important. Similarities of dwarf planets and planets. Earlier I told you there are some similar characteristics. Let's have a look at them. Large celestial bodies. Not only dwarf planets, the planets also. Both of them are large celestial bodies. Both have moons. Both have orbits. ඕබිට් එකේ හැඩේ වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, එයාගේ විදිය වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඕබිට් එකක් තියෙනවා දෙන්නටම. So these are the similarities. Now let's have a look at planets versus dwarf planets. What are the differences? How do they differ from each other? So now all of you look at this table. There are two columns. Column 1 planets, column 2 dwarf planets. So first one, larger in size. Normally the planets are larger in size, but the dwarf planets are relatively smaller in size. Comparing with the planets, they are smaller. Planets have a fixed orbit, but dwarf planets have no fixed orbit. Orbit එකක් තියෙනවා හැබැයි ඒක fixed නෙමෙයි, no fixed orbit. Planets. Planets has cleared the smaller bodies from its orbit. Orbits is clear. Planet එකක orbit එක clear. Dwarf planets has not cleared the smaller bodies from its orbit. So the orbit of the dwarf planets are not clear. These are some of the differences between planets and the dwarf planets. So my dear children, now let's summarize our lesson because today we learned two things. Earlier we learned about the natural satellites. Then we learned about the dwarf planets. For both of the topics, I gave you the examples, I gave you the definitions, I gave you their details, characteristics. So that is the end of my today's lesson. I hope you all enjoy my video lesson. So if you are interested in my lessons, please subscribe my channel, Sensei Lanka Online School. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon too. So if you are interested in my lessons, if you understand my lessons clearly, please share my lessons with your friends and ask them to subscribe me. Thank you very much all of you. Hope to meet you with another lesson for you.